Went to school, it looked just like this, had the same ambiance, it was like the same high-level prep school, and they taught me everything I needed to know academically. I went to college. I really worked hard to get into a college. And I really worked hard in the college. I took 2 engineering degrees, electrical and biomedical, and it was really hard work. But at the end of that, I understood how to do engineering, I understood the computer program. And I went and got a job that paid me $1,800 a month. But I had all this knowledge, all this complete knowledge about how to do things. But there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And when you have this knowledge, you can do things mechanically. You can figure out how to put things together, make circuits. But wisdom's a whole different thing. Like Mark was talking about, there's a level of understanding where you don't need to achieve anymore to be happy. You don't need to achieve to have, like say, when Doris was talking about the young man from the Congo, going to be president of Congo, he said to himself, I'm not going to be happy if I get to be president. And Doris says, why not? Why not be happy right now? Because being happy will help get you there, right? You don't have to wait to be happy. Same thing when we were at Harvard talking a couple weeks ago. A young lady named Karen Hoyas asked this question. If you had all the money in the world, all the money in the entire world, what would you do with your time? And a young man stood up, a Harvard student, this is the best in the world, a student at Harvard, stood up and said, if I had all the money in the world, you know what I would do? I would spend all my time counting my money. And then he took his hand and went, 1, 2, 3, 4. I said to Mark, I was like, that has to be the stupidest answer to a question I've ever heard in my entire life. So what is it? It made me think, what is money? What is it about this money that people would sit and spend their whole entire life just counting it? And you guys go to this school because you're in a pursuit of money. Pursuit of getting an education to go get a job and bring money. That's how the world works. You have a job, they pay for hours. And I figured out part of this formula is you have time plus energy or money invested has to be less than the money you take back out. So if you have time and money put into something, it's just like a math rate. Time plus money has to equal something. And when in a typical work, 9 to 5 job, it equals the money coming back out. So you're putting your time and money in and you get money paid. It's a balance. So people that get really wealthy, they have a different formula. They have time plus money is less than the money that comes back out. So when they put time into something, money into something, and they have more come back than they put in. And I started thinking about this whole concept. When we did this first talk at Harvard, all these people, millionaires, so there's 10 millionaires, came to talk about success, and every single one had the same story. Every single person that came there had the same story. They said their back was against the wall. They were down and out, had nothing. And that's why they figured out what to do next, to build something, to create something that was bigger than anything they ever dreamt of. I started thinking about this question, what is money? What is money? What is money? It dawned on me, the question itself is the answer. Because if you're asking the question, how can I make money? Then it takes you down a complete wrong path. Once you ask this question, how can I make more money? It's taking you down a wrong path, and I see so many people that come to me and say, Doug, how can I make more money? How can I make more money? And that's the wrong question. So if you start with what is money? What is money? What is money? I want you to think about the answer in your head. What is money right now? What is money? I was going to rip a bill in half, but suddenly that's a federal offense, so I can't do that. But I do this exact exercise, and I take a bill and I rip it. Imagine I have a bill in my hand right now, and I ripped it in half. What thought would go through your head right now? Think about the thought of me ripping a $100 bill in half. Because that is your belief about money. Because money is just a system of beliefs. Money is not a real thing. If you look at a dollar bill, it has a number on it. Money is a check written by the Federal Reserve as a promise to pay you. It's not even real. So what you believe about it is what it really is. So when I stopped thinking about what I can do to get money, that was the moment everything changed. The moment, I use this metaphor of a chessboard. Everyone here plays chess at some point, right? Or checkers or some board. You just say it's chess. If you're on a chessboard, if you're looking at a chessboard, everyone's taught in schools like this, everyone's taught in the whole society to be a piece on the chessboard. And you're starting out now, you're in high school, you're a pawn. You're going in the world like a little pawn on a chessboard, and you're walking up, and you might face what you think's a knight, or a rook, or a bishop, or a queen, or a king, and you're on that board because you're seeing somebody that is across from you, and in a chessboard, the lower piece gets taken by the higher piece, right? So if you're in this game and you're playing as the piece, you're looking at the world a whole different way. Now, what if you looked at the game that you're looking above the board? You see the two sides. You see, okay, here's a whole team of players here, the white team. Here's a whole team of players, the black team. Now you're looking above the board. You have a different perspective. So now that you're the pawn and you see a knight across from you, you're saying, oh no, I'm going to get eaten by the knight, right? But if you're looking at the board now, you see there's two people playing the game. There's the first perspective is you're the player on the other side of the board. I'm over here now, I have a whole team that can move these pieces. And you know, I might sacrifice a pawn if it gets me to win another piece, right? The other guy over here is going to say, okay, I might sacrifice my rook over here. The queen's going to take the rook, I'm going to take the queen. So now if you're a player in the board, you can see two different sides of the board at the same time, and you can understand the strategy. That's what Mark was talking about, strategies. You have strategies you can play. Now the next level up from that is a totally different level. This is where you go from a strategician, what's the word, Mark? Someone does strategy, a strategician. That's not a word, I just made it up. Strategist, thank you. A strategist is better than a strategician. So you go from a strategist to a higher level, you see that there's two people playing the game. Now you see the whole entire game. Now, when I first had a transformation, I thought, what is money? I went through this whole process. I started asking myself, what is money? What is money? What is money? And money is whatever you believe it is. Money is whatever you believe it is. Because if you think it's one thing, and you think it's another thing, if someone has a belief, if two people believe two different things, if there's a belief about what it could be anything. If something has no meaning, if you give anything a meaning, it has no meaning. If you follow what I'm saying, if something can have two different meanings, it has no meaning, except the meaning you give it. So I asked myself, what can I give the meaning of money to get something bigger in my life? And I started thinking about this, thinking, what was it that I really wanted to accomplish? I want to have freedom. How many people here think they want to have freedom in their life? If you think you want to have freedom, you're pursuing freedom, you're presupposing you don't have it right now. You're imprisoning yourself right now with the thought that you want freedom. Because that means to believe that, you don't have it. It's a myth, it's an illusion. We live our lives in this illusion that if we get what we want, we'll finally be happy. If you're living your life to try to get freedom, that means you don't have it. Or you want to be living your life for that. So ask me a better question. What is money? Money to me is a way to add value. Money is a measurement of value added. So if you come here to a school and you're paying the school, what's the tuition? $50,000, $55,000, something like that. You're giving the school all this money, your parents are, and the school's giving you tons of value back. You're getting into a great college, and you're going to go out and get a job, and you make a great living for yourself. So it's an exchange of value, right? So what happens if you don't have enough money? What's that mean?
You're in debt.
You're in debt. If you don't have enough money, all it means is you haven't added enough value. That's all it is. If you don't have enough money, you haven't added enough value, because money is just an exchange of value. And you'll never add enough value if it's just you're trading your hours for time. You'll never be able to scale it, because there's a couple things about money. To have a lot of it, you have to have the ability to do. One is you have to have a strategy that's repeatable. And the second is to have a lot of it, you have to scale it. I mean, if you have, like Mark was talking about the gumball machine, if you have a strategy that can scale the money, then you could increase that to 100-fold, 1,000-fold, and that's where you have all the rewards. As long as you're trading time for money, you can never scale your time for money. You kids here are all going to college. You're all going to be great students in college. And we're going to go back to the learning track here. When you're learning this stuff in college, think about all the time, like, how can I scale this? How can I take this, what I'm learning right now in my school, how can I apply it in the world to add even more value? How can I add more value? What can I use this for to add more value? Every moment you're in class, I don't want you to think about grades in college. It's the last thing you need to worry about. What you need to think about in college is, how can I take what I'm learning right now and add even more value to more people's lives? Because once you do that, guess what? You have something different than financial wealth or financial abundance. There's a difference, like I said, there's wisdom and knowledge, Knowledge is common. You can go on the internet right now, and every one of you have a smartphone. You can get all the knowledge in the history of the world on your phone. Knowledge is common. Wisdom is less common. It's the same with financial abundance versus wealth. Financial abundance is measurable. It's how much money is in your bank account. Wealth is a feeling. Wealth is a feeling of abundance. Doris shared that with us already, what that feeling feels like. So if you want to have a feeling of wealth, abundance, you can have access to it anytime you want. Wealth, you have it already. And gratitude and wealth are the foundation that everything you build is started from. If you start with the foundation of gratitude and wealth and total abundance, you can add unlimited value. Because you know what? You have an unlimited number of people out in the world that you can add value to. There's an unlimited number of people right now in the world that you can help. And if you start with the aspect, how am I going to get money? Now you're narrowed way down. You're narrowed way down, like, who's going to pay me money? There's a very tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of people that might pay you money for your skills. But you know how many people you can add value to in the world? How many? How many do you think you can add value to?
7 billion.
7 billion. And we live in a day and age right now that's different than any time in the history of planet Earth. Because those 7 billion people, you can access them instantly. We have the internet now, we have smartphones. You can access those 7 billion people instantly on your phone. So everyone knows Facebook, right? Everyone's been on Facebook. How many people see Facebook and they see pictures like, hey, look at me, look where I'm at. You think that adds value to anybody? Facebook's become this big cesspool of everyone saying, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. No one cares. You want to add value and make money? Go on Facebook and say, what can I do to help you? How can I make your life better? How many think about how you can scale that? How many more people you can add value to? Because you have the entire planet Earth on the internet, where you can just take that and any value you add, you can send that out into the world and scale it up. I saw a video, a TED Talk on a professor from MIT that was really, he was told that he couldn't do online classes, it would be stupid. And he did one class where he had 155,000 students in an online class, which was more than the entire history of MIT. He had 3,000 people graduate from this class, which is more than he could teach in his entire 40-year career. So to bring this full circle, when I started, the way you're going to make money, the way you're going to take whatever you're doing in your life and make more money is have a purpose, have a reason. The meaning you give the money is not what it is, it's what you're going to do with it, why you want it. And if you don't know that why, and that why is not bigger than yourself, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really, really super hard. But if you have a why that's bigger than yourself, like what Doris is doing, her goal is 214 autism centers in the next
10 years.
6 weeks. But anyone, if you're in here right now, listen to this. You are in a place that's so unique in the world, in the history, in the moment right now. You could take all the education you've had in your whole entire life, take that and give yourself a why. Why so you're going to take that and add value. And there's no limit to what you can do with it. No limit. So to close this out, the irony of this whole thing is when I had no money, I started because, man, I have to figure out how to get money to pay for my kids to go to school. Like, oh, I'm broke, how am I going to do this? So that was my why. So now 15 years later, now my daughter went through school, high school. Now she put on a top of the school like this because that's how it started. And I share this information with all you guys. So what I ask for you is to go out in the world and take this and pay it forward and share it with other people and make a difference in their life. It's not about making money. It's about making a difference.
Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking, so other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine. As child, we were born to manifest the glory of God that's within us. It is not just in some of us. It is in every one of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's by Marianne Williamson.